Hi, welcome back to my channel. You guys, I'm super excited about this week's coaching video because this week we're going to be talking about how to get your life together. And you may be thinking, Michelle, I have my life together. What are you talking about? Honey, let me tell you something. Sometimes we think we have our lives together and we don't really have them together. And not only that, this video is for the people that are trying to get their lives together. So let's jump right on in. Are you in a slump? I mean, do you just wake up some days and you feel like you're in this deep slump, like this deep funk that you just can't seem to get out of? And do you feel like your life is full of chaos? By making small changes and focusing on yourself, you can start to get your life together. Let's jump in and talk about how. Number one, take control of your life. One way to get your life together is to take control of your life. Understand that while bad or unpleasant things happen, many of these things are out of your control. Many of them are out of my control. Realize instead that what is in your control and what you can change are the things that you need to focus on. Because blaming others for your circumstances makes you powerless. And it's a waste of your time. So when you stop making up excuses, you take responsibility and control of your life. That means that your choices, your thoughts, and actions are in your control and not someone else's. When something happens, don't get mad and don't blame other people. Don't make excuses for why you messed up. Accept what happened. Don't dwell on it. Instead, move past it and try to change your behavior so that you don't do it again. That's why you don't want to focus on what happened and not doing it again. And your life will be so much better. Number two, let go of what you can't change. And this is difficult for a lot of people because I have my times when it's difficult for me. But there are certain things that happen to us that are out of our control. Since you can't change or fix it, let it go. Take that deep breath in through your nostrils. Blow it out and let it go, honey. Since you can't change or fix it, let it go. Focus only on things that you can change in your life. This will make you so much happier. And I promise you, and I had to get to a place where I can do that, but I promise you, you'll be so much happier. Things in our past are beyond our control. Learn from past mistakes, but don't dwell on them. You can't successfully move forward if you keep looking backward. Matter of fact, if I keep looking backward, guess what? I'm trying to walk forward, but I'm looking back. I'm end up walking into something or someone. So stop looking back. You can't change that. I can't tell you how many times I've looked back over my life at things that have happened and I stress over it and I go, wow, I should have did this, or I should have left sooner, or whatever the case may be. And I have to say to myself, Michelle, all you're doing is working yourself up, sweetie. Why? Let it go. It's in the past. You learned from it. Now move on. Number three, figure out what makes you happy. And I'm very sincere about that. Figure out what makes you happy. Understanding what makes you happy and content can be the hardest question to answer because many people don't have the answer to that. If you're unhappy and you feel your life is out of control, start by asking yourself, what will make me happy? Answer yourself truthfully. And this is where you got to be truthful with yourself. It's not about me. It's not about your neighbor. It's about you being honest with yourself. Figuring this out can help you focus on the positive aspects of life and start to get your life together. Figure out what your core values are. So you got to know what your core values are, because if you don't, you're never going to be happy. Are they honesty, compassion, love, acceptance, dedication, or hard work? Whatever they are, figure them out and write them down. Then look at your life. Are you living up to your core values? Are the people in your life living up to them? Knowing what you value can also help you be a better person and help you surround yourself with better people, because sometimes we just need to get better people in our inner circle. And y'all know I'm really big on who's in your inner circle. Number four, realize that some things just cannot be changed. I don't care what you say. I do care. It doesn't matter what you say, what you do, what you think. Some things just cannot be changed. There are things in our lives that we can't change. We have to work. We have to go to school. We have to pay bills. But you can change certain aspects of your responsibilities so they don't always feel like such a burden. Are there better days for you to perform certain responsibilities? If washing clothes on Thursdays is better than doing it on Saturdays, then do that. You see what I'm saying? If paying bills at the beginning of the month is easier for you than waiting each payday, then do that. Can you buy groceries on a Thursday night instead of spending your Saturday in the grocery store? Yes, you can. Well, depending on how you pay it for. But typically, yes, you can. Find ways to adjust your life so that you get everything done, but still have time for yourself, because that is the key. Number five, realize you can't do it all. There's so much pressure on us to juggle everything and to do it perfectly. You're only one human being. There are only 24 hours in a day. You can't possibly do everything. I can't possibly do everything. And I've had to really beat that into my thinking for years. I had to do that to say, Michelle, you cannot do it all. Regardless of whether you want to or not, you just cannot do it all. You have a job, you have family, you have friends, you have other obligations. Sometimes work requires more of our time, and while others, our family does. Don't feel like a failure if you can't do it all. Do what you can and let the rest go. That is it. Do what you can. I use a planner, and I write down stuff in my planner, and I cross things off or highlight, depends on, my mood for that week. Everything that I get done at the end of the week, if there are things that I haven't gotten to or didn't get a chance to get to, I don't stress myself. I used to, but I don't stress myself anymore. I just didn't get a chance to do it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And guess what? You just try to get it the next day or the next week. Prioritize your time and commitments. This is especially important if you're busy and pressed for time. Decide what has to be done, what things can slide, and what needs your attention right away. Number 6, understand you may not be who you used to be. Things happen in our lives. We grow older, we go through breakups and divorces, people die, we lose our jobs, and tragedy happens. These things can cause us to be depressed, sad, and hopeless. Once we finally start moving forward again, a lot of times we expect to be the same exact person we were before, and this is not always the case. It just is not. Every experience we have changes us. Sometimes it's minor, but sometimes we are drastically different. This isn't always a bad thing. Don't get upset because you're different than you were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Instead, embrace the new you as you move forward and put your life back on track. Number 7, change the change the I'm not to I am. Okay? Think about how many times you say, I'm not in a day. And you know what? I said I'm going to start doing that. Really think about how many times do I say I'm not about something. Have you convinced yourself that you can't do it? We hear we can't or we don't all the time. We don't have enough money to do something. We're too old. We're too young to do something. We're not attractive enough to do something. These subliminal messages make us believe there are certain things we aren't allowed to do. Stop thinking that way. Instead of thinking I can't do that or I'm not that kind of person, change your thinking to I can do it or I am that kind of person, and then go out and do it. You've got to tell yourself, I am that person. I'm going to tell you something. Y'all know I'm a power lifter. Do you know how many times people ask me, Michelle, or say to me, Michelle, we getting older, girl. How long are you going to keep lifting heavy weights? And you know what I tell them? As long as God allows me to draw breath in my body, and I have strength in my limbs, I'm going to keep lifting heavy. When it comes a time that I have to dial the weight back or I can't do it anymore, then I will cross that bridge when I get there. But I don't believe that just because I get a year older that I need to stop doing the things that I enjoy doing. As long as, like I said, I have breath in my body, I have strength in my body, I'm going to do the things that make me happy. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something. I wish you would tell me I can't do something. I'm going to get with you quick, fast, and in a hurry, because I don't believe that. You can't tell me what I can't do, but I will show you what I can do. Number 8, I got caught up there. Number 8, put yourself first. Sometimes the best way to get your life together is to put yourself first. That may mean cutting out negative, unhealthy people from your life instead of keeping them around out of obligation. And sometimes we do. It may mean making a decision people don't agree with because it's best for you. Most of all, it means staying true to what is best for you. Staying true to what is best for me. Learn to say no. And that was the hardest thing I had to do, y'all, is learn to tell people no. You don't always have to do everything for everybody. Sometimes you don't have the time to commit to something, or don't have the energy to do something, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. You just don't have the time. Number 9, put yourself out there. One way to get your life together is to move forward and move on. Getting your life together includes making a life for yourself. This may include joining a new organization, finding some new friends, or trying a new hobby. It might mean just getting out of your house on a weekend. Whatever it is, go ahead and get out of the house and get to doing something that you love and that you enjoy. Put yourself out there. Join a community organization to meet people and get involved. Put a portfolio on an online dating site if you're adventurous. Join a meetup group and go to events. Now, me personally, I would suggest to join a meetup group and go to events as opposed to online dating. But if that's your thing, then do that as well. Number 10 is... Number 10, stop basing your worth on external factors. One reason why people are unhappy is that they put their entire worth on the outside. They think money will make them happy, or a prestigious job, or even looking their best. There's nothing wrong with wanting a good job. It isn't. There's nothing wrong with wanting a good job, to have enough money, or to look your best. But making your entire existence about this is unhealthy and damaging. There are people that walk around and think they are the bee's knees because they're driving the top of the line Mercedes, or living in a big $800,000 home, or, have a job that's paying them, I'm trying to think, $200,000 a year. Those things are all great, but when you base your worth just on those things, honey, you're losing. Don't compare yourself to others. Be the best that you can be. Enjoy what your financial circumstances allows you to do, even if that means just going on day trips instead of month-long voyages into the Caribbean. If all you can do is a day trip or weekend trip, so what? Honey, let me tell you something that I've learned. You do weekend trips, and let's say you go a couple times a month on weekend trips. Do you know how much fun you can have and how many places that you get to visit just doing weekend stuff? I'm trying to tell you, y'all better try it out. Doing a 7-day vacation is great, but sometimes those little weekend getaways can be just as great, and you get more vacations at the end of the year. Let's do a quick recap on how to get your life together, and I promise I'm going to let you be. So number 1, we said take control of your life. You have got to take control of your life. Nobody else can do it for you. I can't do it for you, and you can't do it for me. Take control of your life. Number 2, let go of what you can't change. If you can't change it, let it go. Stop stressing yourself over it. Stop reliving that moment or those moments. It's done. Move on. Number 3, figure out what makes you happy. You've got to know what it is that makes you happy. Number 4, realize that some things just can't be changed. And there are some things, you may have said something ugly to somebody and hurt them deeply, and you apologize, and they accepted your apology, and you think, God, I wish I could go back in time and change what I said. But you can't. So let it go. Okay? Let it go. You can't change it. So stop stressing over it. Number 5, realize that you can't do it all. You can't. And like I said, I had to come to that conclusion because I was one of these people I was trying to get it all done. Boy, I'd have a long to-do list, and I was determined to get through everything on that list, but you cannot do it all. Number 6, understand you may not be who you used to be. When life has knocked you to your knees and you get up and you get back up on your feet, stop expecting to be the you that you were before that issue happened, because sometimes you're just not. And in most cases, you don't want to be. When life knocks you down, and let's say you got into this old funky relationship that you should have cut off a long time ago, and this man or this woman hurt you and just, caused you so much pain and anguish. Once you get back on your feet and you're dating someone new, stop trying to be that person that you were before. See, because that person is what allows you to be with that funky person anyway. So you may not always be the person that you used to be, and in some cases that's a good thing. Number 7, change the I am not to I am. Never sit and say, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough. You are all of those things. Or I'm not handsome enough. Change your I'm not to I am. And I promise you, you start doing that right now, it'll make you'll just see the world in a whole different place. Number 8, put yourself first. I know people that are always putting themselves last. I'm asking you to put yourself first. Stop always thinking that you have to put yourself last, because you don't. Number 9, put yourself out there. You've got to get out there. If you have been in a relationship and maybe it didn't work out and you got hurt, you got to stop living behind that glass wall. Put yourself out there. Let yourself be vulnerable to meet somebody new. Just because the last person hurt you doesn't mean that this person will. And you know what? They very well may. But guess what? Put yourself out there anyway, because eventually the person that is right for you, the one that God has for you, will come along. And number 10, stop basing your worth on external factors. Please stop doing this. Stop worrying about how big your house is, how big your paycheck is, how expensive your purses are, how expensive the car is that you drive, the elite organizations that you're a part of. Cut all that nonsense out. Stop basing that on external factors. Because let me tell you something, I don't care what kind of car you drive. And when you drive that car off the lot, it depreciates in value, no matter what you're driving. So stop basing your worth off of those material things. You guys, that's all I have for you. I am just so excited, and I love bringing you videos every week. As always, if there's something that you want me to talk about, you know how to reach me. My information will be in the description box below. Until then, I want you to work on getting your life back together. Again, you know, tragedy happens to all of us. Life happens to all of us. And if it hasn't, keep on living, because it'll happen to you too. But I want you to really focus on getting your life back together. Get out there and be the awesome person that I know that you can be. Okay? If you see the me that you see right now, but this was not always this was not always the me that you would get. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been through my share of letdowns. I've been through my share of not having more bills than money. I've been through my share of bad relationships. But to look at me now, you would never know that. You know why? Because I learned how to get my life together and let those things in the past stay in the past. You see what I'm saying? And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for those of you that support me and all that I do. Thank you so much for those of you that are new to my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you to my family. Love you guys, and we'll talk again soon.